The Bear Cave Studios. All right, we're going live here on Facebook as well. Now it's happening. All right, so this morning we've been talking all about fairy tale origins. All right, and the reason we were doing that is because today is National Tooth Fairy Day. Did you know that?
I was not aware of that.
Oh my gosh, well now you know. And we're talking about some of these creepy origins of fairy tales and things like that, nursery rhymes. So we started off with our number 5, which was
London Bridge is Falling Down, where Vikings sing this song while killing people.
Yes. And then we went off to Humpty Dumpty as number 4. It was really about a cannon, not an egg.
Yeah.
You knew that?
Yeah.
You did? Okay, so you're military and that's why. That's why you knew that? Or did you know that from another reason?
It was probably a TikTok or a YouTube short or any other random thing. Maybe I saw it on the cartoon once, actually.
Okay, okay.
But it was a fun fact that I just kept in my head forever.
Because we had a bear fan call us and say, you know, they gave us more information about it because they knew that one already, but they were also a veteran. Thank you for your service, by the way, Jared.
Of course.
All right, and then we got to number 3, which was all about racism. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Oh.
Yeah, that was number 3, guys. If you missed it, sorry, we can't just cover it again. But here we are with number 2 coming at you.
With Mary, Mary, Quite Contrary.
Mary, Mary, Quite Contrary.
Would you like a little murder with your children's poetry? Well, you're in luck. This rhyme is actually about Queen Mary I, who was also known as Bloody Mary in her religious zeal. Mary executed hundreds of Protestants during her reign. As a matter of fact, the silver bells and cockle shells in the poem are actually names for medieval torture devices.
Wow.
I would say that this is a bit more contrary, the whole thing of this being
more contrary.
And 3 blind mice might also be about Bloody Mary and 3 Protestant bishops who had burned at the stake for
heresy
after they tried to overthrow her.
All right. So
That's
there's been lots of like murder and blood in all of our kids stories and fairy tales. We're just trying to figure out what that's about here. Mary, what was that we had? What, I don't even remember the title. Mary, Mary, Quite Contrary. Did you grow up with that one?
No, I've heard this saying, I think, but I didn't know that the origin was behind it. But I did get to see probably some of the devices they're mentioning there at a museum of torture in Florida.
What?
It's in St. Augustine. Yeah, it's wicked. They have all kinds of devices and stuff set up, and like they give you, it's a guided tour, so you can listen as you're going through, and they give you the whole history of all of these medieval torture acts, and it's cool. It's really cool.
Really cool.
Well, kind of.
I got to go to London back in 2009, 2011 maybe. I don't know, my life is mixed up. 2009 is probably more accurate. I think Nathan was 2. And we went to the Tower of London.
Oh yeah.
And they had all the torture devices and all the things over there. And man, they were just brutal back then. I'm glad we've evolved from that.
Yeah.
But I digress. That was our number 3, guys. So thank you guys for tuning in for that. Oh no, that was our number 2. That was our number 2. But we're actually here to talk about Mr. Jared Earle. He is a new Clayton-Chamber of Commerce, Clayton Union County Chamber of Commerce member. So congratulations there, and thanks for joining the chamber.
Absolutely.
Tell us about your business. Tell us about Earle Media.
So what I do is, I do general business consulting. Is more focused on business development. I prefer to focus on brand strategy and content strategy. So any association you can make with a brand, I'm trying to help the businesses that I work with tell their story and tell it in a way that they, like, unique to them, I guess. I want to help them find their own voices, but also amplify that voice so that they're not just trying to, I guess they're not twisting in the wind whenever they're sending out their messaging or sending out confusing or conflicting messaging and stuff like that.
Because it's a complicated world out there, right?
Yes.
And as a business owner, you have a lot to deal with. There is a lot going on, and that is one piece of what you have to do, but it's a major piece that some of us really overlook.
Right. I mean, to me, brand is, well, not just to me, like, it's everything. Every single thing that we associate ourselves with from day to day is Coke, Nike, whatever you want to, all of the major brands, they're major brands for a reason.
Exactly.
And
Right.
that's kind of the path that I've taken to try and help people establish their own little place in the market, whatever industry they're in.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you want to tell us some of the brands you're working with right now?
Currently, I'm working with the Green Genie.
Okay. Amy and Casey?
That's correct.
Awesome.
And I've been kind of stopping by some other businesses and talking with some folks. Nothing, I haven't signed with anybody yet, but I mean, I'm open to it, but most of the time people don't necessarily need my help. They need to be pointed in the right direction. That's also, I don't believe in charging people for something that they don't actually need.
Sure.
And if that's my services, like, yeah, it'd be great. I could bring on clients all day long, but I just wouldn't feel right about charging somebody for, hey, you need to do this first before I can come in and help you optimize.
Right.
So that's...
So essentially a customer can call you and you would sit and consult with them as to whether or not they need your services.
Right.
Or if they do need your services, maybe there's some steps they have to take first before
Right.
they truly need you to come in and then come alongside them.
I mean, and most of the time it's just starting to do, because a lot of what people are needing help with is starting their social media pages and creating content, because, well, they're either too embarrassed or they don't know where to start. But it's more of a, if I can show them what my curiosity is in their industry, there are other people out there that probably are curious about that too, or think it's cool, and just talking about that allows people to come in and take a look at that business. So just starting to do it and create the content that way, that's the baseline for starting out with socials.
Sure. Social media. So what would you tell somebody? I know, I'm sorry, it is so hot in here. You should come back at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It really gets, we roast marshmallows on each other's foreheads. It is so much fun. It's really something we should go live with. It's exciting. We have a good time. But really though, what would you tell somebody, a business that hasn't really gotten on social media, making their own content? They share a lot of stuff, that kind of thing. Because I think we see that a lot, right? Like,
right.
People, like, okay, I'll share other things, you know, I'll share these memes, I'll do that.
Right.
But I'm not going to make my own content because of, like you said, I'm nervous or scared. What would you tell that business to do?
I mean, they need to do it. Period.
Just do it, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's where the attention lies. Attention is everything. You go where the attention is. And, like, if you want to be seen and you want people to know what your business is about, you have to put yourself out there. Right. Period. There's no way around that. And social media helps not with just the local area, but
everywhere.
Like a $5 Facebook ad or something like that will get your content out to people that weren't seeing it before. And it's just small little things that will help with reach, help with just general attention. That's what you're fighting for, is attention. Because most businesses, even if they're in retail, they're in the branded marketing game. They're not in the sales game.
Absolutely. So you have to find out where your market is and how to reach them.
Yeah, and the language that your customers speak.
Yes.
Because it's important.
Who is your customer?
Exactly.
That's an important one. Like, who are we even trying to sell to?
Exactly.
Or not, maybe not sell. Maybe you don't sell a good, but...
Right, yeah, just like myself, I provide services.
Right.
There are, probably anybody could use my services, whether they want to be a content creator or businesses themselves. I've worked with content creators in the past, and that's kind of how I broke into this when I was in college getting my degree for acquisition and contract management. I started kind of palling around with content creators, or I was watching streams and stuff more, and I was like, and then I slowly started getting into the back-end business thing and teaching them how to run their streams as a business. Yeah. And then I saw a lot of people getting ripped off and stuff and having their likenesses taken in perpetuity, and it's just, I didn't like that because they didn't know what was happening with their brand after they were done working with said company.
Right.
That's
crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
We're so excited that you're here in the community providing these services. I know it's something that Clayton has needed for a while.
Right.
And I'm also very thankful to see how plugged in to our community that you've been since you've returned to Clayton. I mean, really, it takes everybody, right, to do something,
right,
to care a little bit, and you care a whole lot, and we see that all the time.
Right.
That you're really plugged in for the community. So you want to tell us about that a little?
Yeah, well, I mean, we were living in Florida or whatever, and my end goal was always to come back to Clayton. As always, before I left the Marines, I was going to come back to Clayton. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I was going to work at Dairy Queen or at the Rabbit Ear. I was content with that. I had no plans for anything. I wanted to be back in Clayton. Well, my plans changed, grew up a little bit.
Of course. Life happens.
We missed home. My wife's from Albuquerque, so New Mexico is where we wanted to be. And again, we were going to come back at some point, but we kind of sped that up. It was like we were sitting in traffic or whatever. It was like I take 45 minutes to get to the store. Well, I can do that here too.
Yes.
Without traffic.
Right.
So it was that wasn't the only reason, but I missed home, and I miss looking. I miss the town I grew up in, and I want to also, like, the kids that are leaving now, I want them to remember how fun Clayton was and want to come back and want to do something with the community and want this to be a better place. The community should grow. And if a small little piece of attention will go a long ways. Like, when you start doing something, people will start joining you, and that's kind of, I'm going to keep going until I get people behind me. I mean, I have people behind me. I have a lot of people behind me.
You do.
It's just a matter of I have to show up in order for everybody else to show up.
It takes time, but you're doing a great job. You've already made some noise here, and you're getting a footprint. We're really proud of you, and we're excited. And thank you for joining the Clayton Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, absolutely.
Huge shout out to the Clayton Chamber for making this interview possible. This is brought to you by the Clayton Chamber, actually. So we are going to get back to our jams right now. We've been on here for a little bit, but before we go, Jared, if they want to get a hold of you and get your services, how can they contact you?
Well, for one thing, I walk downtown quite frequently.
You can just find him somewhere.
You'll see me waving.
Find the hat.
Yeah.
He's always wearing the hat.
The founder of the Sacred Order of the Horse Hat.
Yes, I've seen that somewhere. I've seen that somewhere. It's a thing.
My phone number is 505-379-1259. My email is Jared, that's Jarred, 0719 @gmail. And you know where my mom lives, show up there, knock on the door. I don't know. You can get a hold of me. I'm very easy to get a hold of. I'm on all the
socials.
Smoke
signals.
Yeah. No. Exactly. I'll respond to anything.
Hey, you.
Exactly. That's my favorite.
That's your favorite. Hey, guy with the hat. No, okay. No, that's awesome. We'll post that information on our website as well. klmx.us/events. Everything will be posted up there. Again, huge shout out to the Clayton Union County Chamber of Commerce for making this interview possible. Thank you, Jared and Earle Media, for bringing your services to our community. We're going to get back into the jams right now. We've got Post Malone and Brad Paisley with Goes Without Saying. This song came out August 15th this year. So we're going to do that right now. Coming up a little bit later in the show, though, we've got the final news segment here. It's just going to be our classifieds for the day. That's going to be your job openings, garage sales, anything like that. So that all and more coming up here after these few songs and breaks. You're listening to your Killer Mix here on 97.5 FM. The Bear.
Don't forget me, friend.
Never. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in on Facebook. We'll see you next time.